Join Saz and I on our very first walk through our very own hiking trails. If you missed it, about a month ago we purchased 30 acres of land, and 20 some acres of that land is just deep, dense woods. Over the weekend, we were finally able to hack our way in and start making some trails and some plans. Now, here on the outskirts of the woods, there are some rocks and bricks on the ground, but it's actually keeping the ground from being super squishy. So while we do want to clean it up, it's kind of helpful. Over here, we really had to fight our way through some garbage trees and lots of tall, thick grass and weeds and stuff. So that was a bit tricky. A little bit of a dip down here. Saz was having a really good time leaping over these logs on the ground. And we definitely want to incorporate more of that through the actual trails, things for the dogs to jump over and to jump up on, just things for them to engage with in the environment to make it a little bit more interesting for them. Once we got in the woods, though, through all that first part, things got pretty easy. We still got to come back through and clean up some stuff like this so no one gets impaled. But we were able to make these nice wide paths. It's pretty flat. It's perfectly shady. It's going to be lovely for the rest of summer. And it really just didn't take much to get this done. We started with smaller equipment just to get started, to kind of make a plan and a path before we bring our heavier, bigger equipment in here. We really want to try to preserve the woods and the trees as much as possible and like help everything thrive and be healthy. So we didn't want to drag our big tractors and stuff in here until we kind of knew what we were dealing with and what we wanted to do to go forward. So eventually this is going to be our first loop, which is only going to be a 15 to 20 minute walk. That's just going to wrap around and be nice and wide and flat. So not a long walk, but perfect for what we want to do to get started, which is going to be training and events in the woods. Saz was having a great time. She totally thought she knew what she was doing, even though she's never been here before. It was really fun to just like watch her get to enjoy this space because we've had this property for a month and haven't got to do much out here other than just work really hard. So it was nice to finally have a space that we can kind of utilize and find some joy, even if it's just with our own dogs to start. I did mow in some like little narrow side quest trails, and that's probably where we're going to put the logs to jump over and things to climb on. All the obstacles will kind of be in those little like inlet trails that will connect through eventually. And then this outer trail will just be wide and flat and perfect for just running. We have just a lot of work to do still. Like we got to investigate this tree situation. It looks really cool, but is that going to fall on somebody? I don't know. So we'll look into that. The loop doesn't quite meet all the way around yet. We're still working on that. But eventually it'll kind of come back around and that'll be our first loop. We're going to make a better, easier entrance. There's just a lot to do still, but I'm just so happy that once we got in here, things got easy. It didn't stay all thorny and thick, and it's stuff that's pretty easy to cut through. And it's just lovely in here. It's beautiful. And I can't wait to share this with our Heel.Sit family and be able to invite people out here to enjoy the space with us and give dogs a place to just relax in the trees where you're not going to run into strangers and you're not going to pop up on other dogs that you weren't expecting. It's so hard to get out and hike when you have like a reactive, fearful, or overexcited dog and you just don't know what's going to be around the bend. So kind of having this private space is going to be really helpful. And in the meantime, I'm just really glad to have a section of our land that we can actually enjoy with our own dogs. I can't wait to get everybody out here. We started with just Saz because it's a lot easier. We only have one dog to keep track of.